Good evening. Just briefly about myself, I'm a lifelong Orangetown resident, raised in Tappan. Went to Tappan Grammar School when William O'Shea was the principal, not the name of a building, on Mr. Drive, so I'm dating myself. Went to Albertus Magnus High School, graduated from Fordham University, have a master's degree from the University of Delaware and one from Fairfield University. I worked in both the public and private sector. For many years I worked for the County of Bergen in the Department of Family Guidance. Was a member of the New Jersey Supreme Court Youth Services Commission. Received an award from the Justice Department for programs I developed. And then I left the public sector. To be quite candid, I wasn't making enough money. So I retooled myself and went into the private sector. After a few years, I became I joined the A&P Supermarket real estate department and eventually became a director of real estate for that corporation. Currently, I am retired. People have said, well, why are you launching a challenge to Supervisor Allan? Well, one reason is he's not here tonight. And that's really what his administration has been about, not being here. And I can say that I was part of his inner circle. He approached me early on to help him run his last campaign. We met once a week. He took my advice. But something happened, and I'm extremely disappointed on a personal level. Orangetown, I think, like Clarkstown, is out of control. As Andrew pointed out, currently our bonded indebtedness is approaching $75 million. I was a former Orangetown Republican chairman, also a former councilman. When I was on the town board in 1990, our bonded indebtedness was $3 million. Because at that time we had a philosophy, you pay as you go. And what's happening in this country today is it's no longer taking from Peter to pay Paul. It's taking from Paul's children to pay Paul. And that's no longer acceptable. Today, I don't know how many of you are from Orangetown, but you probably received this in the mail from Mr. Allan. He talks about how he adopted a 1.8% tax increase, the lowest in 10 years. What he doesn't tell you is that he took $2 million out of the reserves, which is our rainy day fund, to apply it to reduce taxes. I mean, who's going to repay that money? Ben Bernanke in the National Reserve? I don't think so. Or National Federal Reserve, rather. He says he helped to negotiate the settlement with Pfizer to save the taxpayers $12 million. That's not the case at all. If anything, Pfizer was not assessed properly. I think any of you that live in the Nanuet school district are going to realize the impact of that. And I don't think you're saving $12 million. If Mr. Allan was here tonight, I would challenge him. How did you save this $12 million? He saved 830 jobs from leaving the town. Well, maybe you should go work with Mr. Obama. The 830 jobs he's talking about are at Pfizer. How many of those are for Orangetown residents, number one? And that aside, that was a corporate decision. A corporation is going to make that decision, not a supervisor of a town. He said he attracted 506 new jobs to the town. There's a corporation moving out of New Jersey in Bergen County, across the line onto Blaisdell Road in Orangetown, and they're bringing their employees. 506. How many new jobs are you creating? Then he says that he lowered the town's outside legal contracts by increasing productivity of the town attorney's office. Rather than have our internal attorneys deal with contract negotiations, he hired outside counsel to negotiate with the CSEA. They were hired at $25,000. They're now up to $32,000. There's been no resolution. There's been no contract. And he hasn't even started with a PBA. We were told that there would be transparency in this administration. We were told that this was a businessman that was going to take everything and get it under control. And it's been a total sham. And that's truly unfortunate. And I have nothing to gain out of this. I give you my word right now, if I became supervisor of this town, I would cut my salary immediately by 10%, because what I would do is I would set the tone. But beyond that, I was raised in this town, I have strong roots in this town, and I want to do what's best for this town. And the way we're going, we're not going to be able to do it. That's it. If there's any questions, please ask. Nobody's from Orangetown, or you like what I said?
I do want to point out, Mr. Whalen wasn't able to be here tonight because he has problems from the store. So, in all fairness to Mr. Whalen, I just want to point that out.
Well, I mean, I've been asking Mr. Whalen for at least 2 months to debate me, and he's never met me in a public forum, and that's unfortunate.
Hopefully our general meet and greets.
The supervisor has to negotiate with some of the different unions within the town.
That is correct.
It appears, whether it's Orangetown, Clarkstown, Haverstraw,
Sure.
the supervisor and the town council don't seem to have enough weapons to use to actually push the issue and get concessions.
No, I think you're absolutely correct. And what that comes down to is binding arbitration in this state. And I think there's a real need for all of the supervisors in this county to get together. They go up to these conferences every year. What do they call the town? Associated Towns. There's no reason why you can't get together as a group, because all 5 supervisors and taxpayers have the problem of binding arbitration. But that's a state mandate. If we can get rid of binding arbitration, then you can truly negotiate. You're not going to be able to negotiate as long as that is in place. But that behooves your elected officials to take a stand on that and push, in Albany to get that changed. David seems to be a very aggressive young senator. Well, maybe, we can put pressure on him. Only one voice in the wilderness, but that's how it starts. You're welcome. Any other questions? Well, thank you for your time.